Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Neurodivergent Navigator Podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin Warren, and today I'll be discussing and exploring the question of what is autism. In this episode, we will look at a definition of what autism is, common terminology associated with autism, outdated terms and symbols that are no longer used today, how you can support people with autism, and how I personally feel about having autism. I hope you enjoy. So, what is autism? Well, autism, or autism spectrum disorder, or ASD itself, is a lifelong developmental disability that some people have because of different development in the brain. Autism generally affects how a person communicates, interacts with others, and how they experience the world around them. Autistic people typically can have difficulties with communication, social interactions, or trying to express themselves. They also may have different ways of learning, stimulating themselves, or paying attention, and can have repetitive behaviors or interests. However, what's important to note is that autism is a spectrum. It's very diverse, it's presented in many different ways, and every autistic person experiences their autism very differently. I believe a simple and easy way to understand this concept is through a quote from Dr. Stephen Shore. When you meet one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Some common terminology associated with autism includes masking, unmasking, stimming, meltdowns, special interests, overstimulation, sensory issues, hypersensitivity, or information dumping. I will explore some of these terms and their meanings in future episodes. However, as autism has progressed to where it is today, there are also certain terms and symbols that are no longer used and may be deemed offensive by many autistic people. Terms such as Asperger's, high functioning, low functioning, and severe or mild autism are no longer used when talking about autism. Additionally, symbols such as the puzzle piece or ribbon are also no longer widely used, and the preferred symbol is now the infinity symbol. I will also explore the reasoning behind this and more about these outdated terms in future episodes. Now, some may wonder, how can you actually support someone who has autism? Well, as it is a spectrum, autistic people may require various types of support. Some may need more support or assistance than others. But I believe a simple way that anyone can support any autistic person is just simply by trying to understand their unique needs, respecting their differences, and treating them with kindness, fairness, and respect. If I were to be asked about how I personally feel about having autism, I would say that I'm generally open about it. I believe there is nothing wrong with having autism whatsoever, and that having it shouldn't be something that is seen as shameful or bad. And although it may be a key part of my own identity, and it may be for many others too, we shouldn't be defined for it, be seen as any less because of it, or have to see it as something we suffer from. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Neurodivergent Navigator Podcast. I hope this episode helped you learn about and get a better insight into what autism is and some of the elements within it. Have a great day or night, and as always, stay weird.